Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is VassaOlga. Today I've decided to create something really interesting. So I found that Nika Tutorials and James Charles, they actually uploaded the first kind of like zodiac sign challenge, makeup challenge. I thought that, well, this is such a great idea. I've never thought anything like this before, but today I want to kind of like focus on something a little bit different. So I want to actually focus on my zodiac, but at the same time I want to focus on my love and sex relationship. So I'm gonna share with you guys everything that I know about me, some kind of like tips, some stories from my real life about my sex life, about my love life, how it actually happened, not like something like happened, but I mean, we're gonna see this. By the way, I'm 25, so I'm allowed to have sex, basically. And I guess enough talking, let's get started. As a foundation, I will be using my favorite two products. I've been using this for ages, and this is Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. And my second choice is Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation Fond de Teint, soft beige colors. I use that like almost every single time. Fine, and with the foundation brush, I'm gonna buff this out. While I'm actually doing my foundation, I'm gonna read you guys what is my zodiac sign. So I was thinking a lot about the way I kind of like wanna organize this whole makeup look and this whole kind of like challenge. So I realized that I have to start kind of like diving and digging about my zodiac sign, and it turned out that I'm a Sagittarius. I knew that I'm a Sagittarius, but like, drum roll, I am a Ophiuchus or Ophiuchus. I have no idea how this sign, zodiac sign, is pronounced. What I found was really interesting, so listen up to me. If you was born from 29th of November to 17th of December, then my congratulations. You're officially Octopus or Ophiuchus. Have no idea, but doesn't really matter. My point number one is you're smart and creative. Obviously I'm creative. You're a procrastinator. Yeah. My point number three is you make people laugh. Patience is not your strong suit. Oh well, this is absolutely true. I cannot wait to have something, to get somewhere. This is such a big deal to me. You look on the bright side. Yeah, I'm an optimist. You're trustworthy. I cannot dive into this, but I guess like people, they do really trust me. You're brutally honest. I am honest. I'm really honest. If you're a piece of shit, I'm gonna tell you that you're a piece of shit. If you're not, then you're not, probably. You're curious. I am curious. I'm not gonna lie. I always want to find out something interesting and new. And at the same time, I'm always into something. You're judgmental. I am super judgmental. Then you're empathetic. Probably I am. Yes, you can get a teensy bitty jealousy. Well, I am jealous. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I am jealous, but I'm really trying hard to kind of like fight this back and to cope with this whole thing. Then what else? You have sexual pieces. So finally we're at the 12th point. You have sexual pieces. I don't know. Ron says, one of the most important parts of a relationship is perhaps physical attraction toward one another. If you find an Ophiuchus, you will no doubt experience passion between the shits and elsewhere too. I do really believe that sex is crucially important. I really think that way. When I was 16 and a half, actually, when I was 14, I fell in love with my future husband. So I was kind of like madly in love. I couldn't stop thinking about him, but I was a little bit kind of like too young, and he was a year older. That's why we didn't start dating. I was, if I'm not mistaken, like 14 and a half, almost 15. But in a year, I actually achieved my goal. I started dating him. So I was 16 and a half, and we started dating. I was in love. I was madly in love, and I even caught my breath when I saw him for the first time. That's why I realized that it was love from the first sight. Like, believe me or not, I was kind of like, seriously, I was in love. So my husband, he is the pieces. So he's the pieces, and I started kind of like digging and reading about pieces. So every single source told me that, well, pieces, this is not your type and you cannot be together. But today, when I found out about Aphicus, I actually found really interesting fact, and I'm even gonna read it. Aphicus or Abacus is more compatible with Pisces zodiac sign than any other sun sign. This is because they both share the same element water, and both of them are mutual signs. An Aphicus with another Aphicus share a complete relationship as they know each other very well inside out. I doubt about water sign because, well, I'm a total fire. But what I do really know is that I really love my husband and he's Pisces, so we're pretty much happy. We've been dating for 8.5 years. Yeah, it was quite a long period of time, but I didn't really want to get into this relationship that deep. I didn't really want to get married because I thought, well, that I'm gonna lose my freedom, and I was afraid and terrified at first. That's why when he proposed, I kind of like told him, like, I'm sorry, I'm not ready, not yet. And when I left Moscow and went to China to live there for a year, I realized that he was still with me. I knew that he wasn't cheating. He went back and forth from Moscow to China to visit me, and then I realized that he is the one. By the way, I used my primer. This was Essence Prime Plus Studio Glow Boost and Pore Minimize Primer with pink clay. I used this a couple of times on my channel, but okay, who cares? At first I did my foundation, then I'm not gonna dive into some concealer or whatever, because at first I want to focus on my eyelids and create something really cool. So before doing my eyes, I want to kind of like create my brows. So all these videos you can find on my channel, because, well, believe it or not, I've been doing my brows for such a long period of time. That's why I'm gonna do this real quick off the camera. Well, I did my brows off the camera, so it was nothing special, nothing in particular. I used my regular product, and today I'll be using my Makeup Revolution Focus and Fix Eye Primer. I use it every single time on my channel, that's why there's nothing new about it. Before I tell you all the dirt about my sex life and about my love life, I am gonna read some definition that gives some sources on my love life and my sex life, and I'm gonna tell you if it's true or not. So I couldn't find anything more about Aphicus again, but I found a lot of information about Sagittarius, and in particular was Sagittarius Love and Sex. People born under the sign of Sagittarius are very playful and humorous, which means that they will enjoy having fun with their partners. Partners who are equally open will certainly suit the passionate, expressive Sagittarius who's willing to try almost anything. Not anything. For this sign, there's always a thin line between love and sex. Their love for change and diversity can bring a lot of different faces in their bedroom, but when they are truly in love, they're very loyal, faithful, and dedicated. They want their partners to be intellectual, sensitive, and expressive. I can totally agree, and I can kind of like put my name under every single word except for try out everything. Not everything, believe me. But what I can definitely say to you guys is that while I was 16 and a half, we started dating with my future husband. So I'm not gonna tell his name because it's kind of like really personal to him, I guess. But if you are subscribed to my Instagram, then you probably can find his face somewhere years ago. I don't know. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So when we started dating, I actually was super kind of like scared because these relationships were my first. I was super in love, but I still was afraid. And even back then, I knew that sex was such a big part of everyone's relationship. I thought that if you have great sex, then this kind of like love, understanding, and physical attraction is super important. But at the same time, I thought that if you don't have this connection, this physical connection, then it's not gonna work out. Or probably if you have sex once in like 3 or 4 months or even less, then it's still not a good relationship. Because I think, well, if you feel attracted to this person, you would love to have sex with him. If you don't feel anything like this, then you did. So I was a virgin when I told him that sex was such an important part of any relationship. So he disagreed. He told me like, I don't think that sex is super important. I respect you. And told me like, wait, I told you that I think that it's crucially important, but I didn't tell you that that you have to disrespect me for this. No, it was just before we actually had our first sex and when I was a virgin. So when this actually happened, I wasn't prepared. Actually, it was so painful that I thought I was gonna explode. That's why it was still a little bit kind of like painful. But he was gentle and he was trying to do everything really good. So that's why I guess today we're about to do something really soft, romantic, how my relationship actually started. I feel like the color of love, it's kind of like romance and at the same time something kind of like brutal. That's why we're about to use Pindy color from my Makeup Revolution palette, Turkish Delight. I've been using this a couple of times on my channel, and with a brush, with a fluffy small brush, tap off all this product and start applying this all over my lid. So I'm sort of like setting my eye. But it says right here that I am actually, if I'm in love with someone, I'm gonna be loyal and I'm not gonna cheat. This is true. I think you have to be honest with your partner and you don't have to cheat. Now we're kind of like moving to something a little bit, tingly, some goosebumps that I felt for the first time. And today I'll use my Essence pigments. That's kind of like it. For now, we have something really pretty and something girly. But at the same time, I realized that we have to make sure that our love line is a little bit different from our sex life. So that's why I brought my eyeliner from NYX and I'm gonna create some sort of like a line, a big line, that inside of this line I'm gonna create some really interesting situation and we're gonna talk about my sex life. So I'll be right back in a minute. So at first I'm gonna kind of like create this pretty line. It's really kind of like pretty and girly, so you can live it this way, but I do not recommend you doing this. So we have a cotton wool and some kind of like makeup eraser. Now I want to make sure that I have perfect surface to create further makeup look. I'll be using my Morphe palette. I know that I've been talking about Morphe for such a long period of time. I wasn't satisfied with the quality of the product because it was a little bit kind of like not that good. Started creasing really fast, but the pigmentation is perfect. So when I start talking about my sex life and explore my sex life, I think that it's crucially important to come during your sex. I guess I'm gonna grab a small brush, flat brush. So talking about sex, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I guess you know it. It's something deep, it's kind of like extremely good pleasure and fantastic. I'm gonna grab this kind of like pretty purple color from James Charles eyeshadow palette, X Morphe. So tap off and add this color right into this kind of like spot. Next time, I promise we're gonna discuss some ghosts. I had some situations when there were a lot of mystery. We're about to find out. Let me know in the comments, have you ever had any situations when you kind of like were talking to ghosts or were trying to find ghosts or whatever? And I am gonna read this out loud on my channel and we're gonna discuss it. The next color is going to be this pretty kind of like pinky shade. I love it, and this one I wore for my wedding. And if you're interested, then I'm gonna share with you guys my wedding makeup look, but I guess you're not gonna be interested. Apply this right into my inner corner. That's how Sex and Love look. One more color to use is going to be this bright pinky color. I guess this is the color that actually show my true passion, my true love to my husband. And I guess this can actually show everyone what is love to me and what is sex to me. Something bright and super, super pretty. I'm gonna apply some falsies, do my mascara, Essence mascara. Do of the camera my left eye, my right eye. I guess I'll be right back. Well, there's only a few things left before we're kind of like ready to go. And right away, I'm gonna do my concealer. So today I'll be using Sephora concealer color Ivory 08. So with a beauty blender, I'm gonna buff this out. This is the powder that I brought from Thailand, and I've been using this a couple of times on my channel, but practically I never actually used this too often. So this powder is made of Tanica. Well, if you don't have this one, you can definitely use some Makeup Revolution, or I don't know, Wet n Well probably, but I love this powder. It creates some magic. Basically, you can use this powder to create some mask and apply this all over your face and leave it overnight. So this powder is super cool. My regular contour, just a little bit. Pretty much the same colors. I'm about to create a nose contouring. So this is a nose contour, which is super, super easy. You just have to create this straight line really close to the nose bridge and bring this to the nose sides, just half of the nose sides. Baking soda, I'll get baking soda. Clean the edge. I'm about to do my favorite trick, new life hack that I found out about this essence pigment. So if you don't have essence pigment, then of course you can use any pigment you have. I'm gonna use it instead of a highlighter. Of course, I'm gonna use a little bit of a highlighter from Rainbow Wet n Wild Color Icon Rainbow Highlighter. And with my big fluffy brush, I'm just gonna apply this on my cheekbones, but it's not enough. I mean, look at this. Not enough. Look at this. Okay, what are we supposed to do on the lower lids? I guess a little bit of this pretty kind of like sexy velvet color mixed with this one. I guess we're gonna kind of like reduplicate everything that we have on the upper lid, but at the same time create it even kind of like more intense. I'm about to use my Makeup Revolution Spray Matte Finishing Spray. Love and Sex makeup look. Okay guys, this is the final result. I hope you really liked this video. I hope you found it really interesting and entertaining. So I shared with you a lot of personal information, because I actually let you into my bed. If you like this video, please put thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.